them have been for the generally considered recognized championship of that weight class, but that's why you see the unified rules.
Both fighters now ready to make their way into the ring. Fernando Montiel from Los Mochis, Mexico. And Max, as you mentioned, he's held the title at 112, held the belt at 115, and looking to make it a triple play here.
His father lost to Miguel Canto, and his cousin lost to Jhonny Gonzalez. He says the cousin lost to Gonzalez does make a little family rivalry here. It's really interesting pedigree, but not a winning pedigree yet against the top guys. He's going to try and change that tonight. His boxing heroes, Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard, and the stereotype of Mexican fighters just coming face first and throwing the hook to the liver and looking to brawl has changed in recent years. Montiel might be the best example of that. Really a pure boxer. Had a tragic win against Pedro Alcazar, who was never recovered from the injury sustained in his fight with Fernando Montiel.
Yes, Alcazar passed away 2 days later. Montiel has only lost one time in his career, and that was to Mark Too Sharp Johnson back in August of 2003. It was a time when they thought the torch would be passed and Montiel would step up and face stronger competition. Johnson showed he had a little bit more gas left in the tank, and Montiel said he started slow that fight, and he plans on not doing that tonight.
Yeah, you know, he recognizes Montiel. He said he's very aware of the need to be more exciting and to take charge more in order to create demand to see him fight, because he is fighting in such a light weight class. But he's also aware that he's a boxer. So in fighting more aggressively, it's going to be within the framework of being a boxer. He's not going to suddenly turn into a little Joe Frazier.
And there you see the loss to Too Sharp. He won the last 5 rounds of that fight on 2 of the 3 judges' scorecards, but it still wasn't enough. We talked about Alcazar, and Carbajal took him out in 4. Jhonny Gonzalez from Mexico City, Mexico, lost his first 2 fights, but since then, 32-2. A closer look now with Max.
Spelled his name J-H-O-N-N-Y. That was a birth certificate typo, and figured, why not? Let's keep it. His amateur record, according to Jhonny, is 170-10. That's 10 losses out of 180 fights, folks. An incredible amateur background. He owns an open-air gym in Mexico City. By open air, we mean it's on a street where, you know, cars drive by, and there are hundreds of people at times gathered to watch the sparring, and that's where he trains and works out.
He says he's been doing it for 10 years. That's all he knows. Lennox, we saw the remarkable amateur record, 170-10, but for a Mexican fighter, that's unusual. Usually they turn pro as early as possible, but Gonzalez said his dad wouldn't allow him. Just didn't feel he was ready yet.
Well, you know, the funny thing about that is his dad knows best, because when you're that young, maybe your muscles ain't strong enough and your bones ain't strong enough yet. But I think he waited for the right time. He's got an extensive amateur career that gives him, you know, basically a good run into the pros, because when you turn pro, you really are a pro already, because you've had so much fights under your belt. So I think that gives him a good advantage.
And Max, Gonzalez also took on Mark Johnson, as you see there in his last fight. He knocked him out in 8, but he beat him 2.5 years after Montiel did.
Not only did Too Sharp have left less in the tank against Gonzalez than he did against Montiel, but it was really Gonzalez's job to create demand to see him fight Marquez, to look spectacular, to really look extraordinary fighting in such a lightweight class. He failed to do so against Too Sharp, was content to let Too Sharp's age beat himself rather than really impose himself on Johnson. Tonight, it's a question of who will take advantage of this opportunity and take charge and look special.
All right, we're ready for the main event. Let's send it now into Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Home Depot Center, Carson, California, Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions is proud to present the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Bantamweight Championship of the World. Brought to you in association with Home Depot Center, AEG, and Pechanga Resort Casino. Sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, Chairman Marty Keller. Executive Officer Armando Garcia. The 3 judges at ringside scoring this bout on a 10-point system will be Marty Denkin, Chuck Hassett, and Nelson Vasquez. And when the bell rings, your referee inside the ring in charge of the action, John Shorley. And now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing yellow trimmed with blue. Official weight, 117 pounds. Professional record, 32 victories, including 24 knockouts, with only 1 defeat and 1 bout even. From Los Mochis, Mexico, the challenger, WBO Junior Bantamweight World Champion, Fernando Pochulito Montiel. Across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white, official 107 record, 30 victories, including 28 knockouts. De Mexico, the WBO Bantamweight Champion of the World, Jhonny Gonzalez.
You were terrific. Gonzalez. Vamos, vamos. Vamos. Jhonny. Okay, guys, this main event is dedicated to the loving memory of Sacramento Basin boxing coach Don Conley. Okay, this is for the WBO title. Yo quiero una pelea limpia. Obedezcan mis órdenes y protéjanse de todo tiempo. Tengo guantes. Buena suerte.
Jhonny Gonzalez and Fernando Montiel are friends. They say, hey, look, there's no bad blood between the two of us. They respect each other.
They're 2 of the better fighters south of 118 pounds or south in all of boxing. You don't often see guys like this in against each other.
Who's a floor director? I guess anybody. Who am I looking for? Ready?
Here we go, the first of a scheduled 12-rounder at 118 pounds between Mexicans Jhonny Gonzalez and Fernando Montiel. Gonzalez will try to keep the fight, he says, on the outside, at least for the first couple of rounds, before he can get a feel for closing the distance. For Montiel, the challenge is a little bit different and probably a little harder. He needs to figure out when he can get inside, take care of his business, and then back out, Lennox.
Absolutely. It's like he's, you know, he loves Sugar Ray Leonard, he loves Muhammad Ali, so you're definitely going to see flashes of those 2 boxers in there.
Montiel on the gold trunks with the blue trim. Gonzalez, the white trunks with the black trim.
Gonzalez is a big puncher. And he has boxing skills, but he's not a real risk taker. He's not the kind of guy, just because he can punch, that goes out and looks to brawl irresponsibly. And that may hurt him in terms of his marketability because he is so small.
Nice, crisp left hook from Montiel. We're not going to see Gonzalez pull a Paul Williams and throw 100 punches per round.
Montiel looks ripped. He may be little, but he's ripped.
He is also very quick. Likes to counterpunch.
You can forgive boxers, especially skilled boxers, for feeling out their opponent in the first round. But Montiel, in the next round, has to have already figured stuff out and get going if he wants to beat the longer, more powerful, and reigning belt holder.
So far, Montiel has been the busier of the two fighters and more effective. Left hook that time blocked by Gonzalez. Tactical first round in the books. In both corners tonight, our interpreter will be Ray Torres.
Everything's nice and calm. You got to keep him at a distance and then precisely punch. Work him nicely. The right hand and then the left hook. But hit him with the both hands. Come on, you got to throw first. Keep that piston going, the jab.
Buen trabajito, Carlos.
You're doing good work.
Vivito, ojo visor. Ojo visor. Bien abierto, compadre. Su compadre bien abierto, Vivito. Pero
Nice and lively. Nice and...
Neither fighter extremely busy in the first round. Gonzalez, 4 of 34 punches. According to CompuBox, Montiel landing 6 of 30. Like, so those are more like heavyweight numbers than bantamweight numbers. Usually you see guys this size throwing about 45 to 50, 55 punches per round.
Usually, you know, it seems like they're really just still checking each other out, and they have great respect for each other, as you can see. All it takes is one punch for somebody really to wake up and say, well, I didn't like that. You know, let me get that guy back. And then the fireworks start.
You know, you mentioned a heavyweight pace. That's why one of the reasons people criticize heavyweights throughout history is they say one of the reasons they give for watching lighter weight divisions is they throw more punches. They're more exciting. And when you take that out of the equation, even though I thought Montiel won the first round and I was critical of him,
That's not helping your cause.
Then why are you watching them?
Yeah, but one thing you're forgetting, Max.
Yes.
When it comes to heavyweights, why people do like to watch them is because it all can end in one punch.
And it's not the same story in the lighter weight divisions quite as it is in the heavyweight division.
No, people love to see a heavyweight fall down because they make such a big noise. And seeing such a big man drop on the canvas is exciting to them.
These guys are competing at a very high level, but they're not making big noise here. And it seems unfair to criticize two guys who are technically very good and fighting at a high level, but life ain't fair. And if they're serious about a Marquez fight or becoming box office stars, someone's got to step it up here.
Getting a little looser, though.
Absolutely, absolutely. The crowd showing their disappointment. They want to see more fireworks in this fight. I was really expecting Jhonny to do a lot more in the early rounds. What do you think?
It's not his nature to just be overly aggressive. He's a power puncher, but a boxer.
Montiel knows his fight's on the inside. Get in, do his damage, and get out. And there you see the quickness. Scraping left hook, and he comes back with a right hand. Also, I think these guys are being penalized for the fight that the crowd just saw. Coming off that kind of high out.
Very good point.
I think that's what's fresh in their memory here.
As Lennox said before the fight, it could be anticlimactic. And so far, And as we say that, it starts to heat up.
All right, we are celebrating the 10-year anniversary of Boxing After Dark. We're going to look back throughout the year at some of the great ones. And how about Arturo Gatti and Wilson Rodriguez?
Boxing at the bell. Good luck, 12 rounds.
Gotti goes down on a short left hook inside. And he didn't see it coming. Sensational left hook by Gotti. Fabulous counter right by Rodriguez. This has been a time capsule round. Arturo Gatti boxing in the dark through nearly closed eyes.
Cover your left eye or it's over. How many fake? Guy said cover. How many fingers? Now.
Tide has turned. Tide has turned. Body blows did it. Down goes Rodriguez. What a left hook. Arturo Gatti with
how about that?
Comeback win.
Well, one day that Gatti guy will be pretty good, huh, Lennox?
Oh, man. You know, that's a tough customer right there.
And that was one of his best 5 fights, probably. Right. You know, along with at least 2 of the Mickey Ward fights, at least one of the Ivan Robbins fights, Gabe Ruelas. There's been a lot of wars.
The Arturo Gatti legend started here on Boxing After Dark. Montiel and Gonzalez. They'd love to start a legend of their own here tonight. Gonzalez, we mentioned the extensive amateur background, 170-10, according to his count. A 3-time national champ, a bronze medalist in the '98 Pan Am Games. Lennox, you believe all that experience has only helped him as a pro?
Absolutely. I mean, he's got good movement. When he wants to move on his feet, he's got excellent movement.
I got to say, the crowd is booing now, and these guys have started to change my mind a little bit. They are throwing more punches, and it's obviously not a slugfest, but that's not what these 2 guys do. They're mixing it up more and more as the fight goes on.
Oh, Gonzalez catches Montiel with the left hook.
And you know what? Montiel is definitely a counter puncher. He's working off of his opponent. It's important that he definitely picks up the pace, you know, which he is.
So you're saying his work output is proportional to what Jhonny Gonzalez dictates?
Right. If Jhonny Gonzalez dictates a faster pace, you'll get more punches out of Montiel.
Gonzalez trying to start to close the distance here in round 3. Rips a hook to the body. Doubles up with another left hook. Starting to find the range on the end of his punches.
Gonzalez is starting to apply steady pressure and cut off the ring on Montiel rather than follow him around the ring, and it's starting to pay dividends.
Montiel's camp said they knew this was a risk, but they believe there is no reward without taking risks. They felt that they needed to get noticed. It was a fight they needed to take against the bigger Jhonny Gonzalez. Quick 1-2 from Montiel. Nice action here to end the 3rd.
Ya lo viste que ya está cediendo, nomás se la lleva puro correr, está corriendo, cuando él se para ya no tiene nada, la boca la está abriendo,
When he stands in there,
trata de pegarle la punta de la barba, ¿sale? Mírale la punta de la barba.
You gotta hit him right on the chin.
Pero hazlo.
But you gotta do something. He's getting tired.
¿Vale? Dame la...
You heard him.
Ese volado derecho y el gancho de
The overhand right and then the left hook. You got him with that.
Acuérdate que de la cintura para arriba tiene que quebrarse, mijo. No
And
le des
if you hit
flanco
him
fijo.
in the belly, he's got to give.
Del séptimo en adelante, del séptimo, octavo en adelante, vamos a marcar.
It's going to pay dividends after the 6th and 7th round of body punches.
So far, each round has been better than the preceding round. If the fourth round is better than the third, we found ourselves in the middle of a pretty good fight.
All right, Maxwell, how do you have it through 3?
I thought Gonzalez won the last round. I thought Montiel edged out the first 2. Montiel, excuse me, edged out the first 2. And I have it a 1-point fight for Montiel as a result.
And to help back you up here, Gonzalez landing 19 of 56 in the 3rd round, according to CompuBox. Montiel 9 of 42. And we should point out that, Max, you don't get to see those numbers. You're scoring.
You know, as the pace has picked up, it has favored Gonzalez.
Oh, nice long right hand from Jhonny Gonzalez.
Gonzalez definitely trying to impose his strength on Montiel, which he should be. This is what I expected from him.
Lennox, what does the little guy do here when faced not only with superior firepower, but a guy who can box? Gonzalez is not reckless. What do you do if you're the little guy?
You use your advantages, which is speed and footwork. What you try and do is try and get in there and get out real fast. Try and do as much damage as you can by getting in there and then get out of danger. Make Gonzalez commit himself and take advantage of that. Being a counterpuncher, this is what you're supposed to do.
Montiel's corner told him continue to work the body. And the dividends from that work will show up in the latter rounds. And you see Montiel doing a nice job hooking off his jab.
You know, Montiel in this fight, even though he's being hit from time to time, hard sometimes, bears more than a passing resemblance to Willie Pep, one of the all-time great defensive fighters and one of the greatest featherweights of all time.
Gonzalez missed there with a left hook. Montiel ducked below and found some work inside in the body.
When Montiel is being hit, it's not so much what he's doing wrong, it's what Gonzalez is doing right. Montiel is moving very well, avoiding punches well, countering well.
When you talk about Mexican fighters, you're used to seeing guys who can stand and go toe-to-toe. Montiel, very slick. You guys touched upon the fact his heroes growing up, pure boxers, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard.
There's definitely shades of Sugar Ray in there.
Oh, action after the bell. John Trolley separates the fighters. That may be the spark that the crowd wanted to see.
That's what I want to see. You're complete. Nothing wrong with you. You got it. You're in your groove now.
Following tonight's Boxing After Dark, stay tuned for a countdown to Tarver Hopkins. An in-depth behind-the-scenes look at both Tarver and Hopkins as they ready themselves for their highly anticipated June 10th light heavyweight matchup on HBO pay-per-view.
Hazlo con mucha inteligencia, ¿sale?
Do it with a good intelligence. Yeah, don't blow your nose for nothing.
La llanta.
Frank, water.
Heading into the 5th round of a scheduled 12-round bantamweight bout here between Jhonny Gonzalez, a natural 118-pound fighter, against Fernando Montiel, who has fought at this weight before, but typically does his business at 115 pounds. Gonzalez with a lead left hook. Gonzalez in the white trunks, black trim. Montiel, the gold trunks. Max, earlier we saw Paul Williams 6'1", but his body can fill into a 160-pounder. Gonzalez, another tall fighter who we could see moving up to, featherweight possibly.
He's having a hard time making 118 pounds now. And at 122 pounds, there's Vasquez. Joe Vasquez is up there, who he could make a big fight with. He could make a fight should he win this fight. I think he's losing it right now. With Rafael Marquez, that fight could simply move up to 122 pounds. Meanwhile, in the beginning, I wondered aloud how Montiel could be considered a compelling fighter if he's not an action fighter at this weight. And I think, for the most part, he has been compelling tonight so far against a very good fighter in Gonzalez, who's fighting well. And yet Montiel is outboxing him and in an entertaining way. He's not running, he's not holding. He's counter-punching very well. He's initiating some exchanges.
One thing good about Montiel is you can't corner him on the ropes. Anytime you get near the ropes, he's using that terrific footwork to get himself out of danger.
Not to mention great hand speed. There is a welt starting to form under the left eye of Fernando Montiel.
There's also, there's a tide in the affairs of men. This fight really looked like it was starting to turn into a very, very good fight, and both guys have cooled off somewhat this round, and they're hearing it from the crowd.
Jhonny Gonzalez is definitely having problems putting him up against the ropes. He wants to corner Montiel and get some punches in there, but he's not an easy guy to hit.
Both fires firing combinations to end the fifth.
Now let's see if they can pick up next round where they left off just then.
That's it. You're the best. Yeah. Don't just stand and exchange with him. Move around. Yeah, you gotta stand your ground, but carefully. Everything is good, Leon. You had him. Everything's good.
You're going to see Montiel getting inside and scoring those quick punches and then getting out of reach.
You gotta show you what you have.
Dame la llanta. La llanta. La llanta.
You want to know who's winning a fight? Listen to the corners. In one corner, Montiel's corner, keep doing that, keep boxing. And in Gonzalez's corner, there's a sense of desperation already.
We asked Fernando Montiel if Jhonny Gonzalez was going to be the tallest fighter that he's ever faced, and he quickly said no. Ronaldo Hurtado back in September of 2004 was just as tall as Gonzalez, and he believed just as strong. He knocked him out in 7 rounds.
He's not making the mistake he made against Too Sharp, just as he promised. Fernando Montiel has started quicker and has boxed more crisply from the outset. And as a result, at least on my part, is ahead in the fight.
You see Gonzalez there landed a couple of good left hooks to the head. Now here is where Gonzalez has to go to work when he gets him up against the ropes. But Lennox, the point you made, Montiel does a good job of not staying there for too long.
No. Montiel, the only time he really fights is when he has to. Right now, in this kind of position, this is where he has to wage his attack, use his quickness, use his footwork.
Are you saying he should fight not only when he has to, but when he wants to?
Yeah, because he's got terrific footwork to be able to get in and out. He can do what he wants. All Jhonny Gonzalez is doing is basically following him around and trying to corner him. When you find a guy trying to corner you, you have to take advantage of that and make sure you punch first. Punch first.
That said, Gonzalez is having his best round in a while, I think.
This is where you have to be first. He's waiting for Gonzalez to really wage the attack.
All right, Lennox, so you've laid out the game plan for Montiel. What do you think Gonzalez should be doing to turn the tides here?
Well, he should be throwing more punches to the body, try and slow down Montiel. He's really being a headhunter just basically, and you got to throw some body punches. You got to throw different combinations. Keep Montiel busy mentally. There you go.
Good left hook to the body. Saw Montiel's arm and elbow immediately drop.
Gonzalez rips off a three-punch combination. You can tell he got some confidence after landing that left hook. Doubles up on the left hook again to end the sixth. Little fist pump from Jhonny Gonzalez.
Okay, son, everything cool. The left hook now. Grabs it very close. Hey, in the bottom, it hurts him.
¿Oíste? Una que otra vez cuando tienes derecha mete su gancho al hígado.
Le toca de respirar, mano.
Try to take a deep breath.
Ni vaselina, ni nada, bueno.
Give me something to work with, Vaseline or
Tú eres el
something.
mejor, Jhonny. Dame la
Come on,
llanta.
Jhonny, you're the best. You're the better fighter.
Acuérdate que eres el mejor, ¿eh?
Come on, don't
Vámonos.
forget,
En
you're
este
the
se acaba
better
si tú te
fighter.
decides.
Enárcate, cabrón. No se quedes ahí.
Don't just stand there, move.
No esperes.
Midway through a scheduled 12-rounder between Fernando Montiel and Jhonny Gonzalez. Max, how do you have it?
Thought Gonzalez had his best round probably of the fight just now. He simply moved his hands more. He was winning the round by a little bit, landed a good left hook to the body. Later in the round, it really took over with some good headshots late.
Gonzalez should be comfortable. He says for 10 years he's trained in that open-air gym in his home in Mexico City, Mexico. We are outdoors tonight at the Home Depot Center in Carson, California.
It's interesting in the last round, as soon as Montiel got this intense, kind of determined look on his face and started walking towards Gonzalez, Gonzalez's fortunes improved immensely. He is probably strategically better off moving and boxing.
Gonzalez lost his first two fights we mentioned earlier. And then in his 12th fight, he lost to Ricardo Vargas, fought him again 2 months later and lost again, and then said he thought about stepping away from the game, but his father and his family talked to him, took 6 months off. He said he got his head together, and since he's won 18 straight, 16 by knockout. And he said he was overconfident against Vargas, who was more seasoned at that time. He took him too lightly. He says no longer will he take any opponent too lightly.
I think both boxers should be throwing a lot more punches, especially Montiel. You know, he's at a disadvantage, size and weight. Once he gets in range, he should be firing off 6, 7 punches, not 1 and 2.
It seems, though, that that's when Gonzalez is having some success, when Montiel's coming to him and opening up a little bit, Lennox.
Yeah, I mean, he should be throwing a lot more punches. Right now, he's just happy getting in 2 shots. He should be getting in 4 shots.
Even if it means exposing himself to a counter by Gonzalez?
Yeah, but he's quick enough to be able to do that. At that time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom, move out of range. There you go.
That's right, 1, 2, 3, doubled up on the jab and came through with an overhand right. Did Fernando Montiel. Gonzalez with a hook to the body.
The difference, though, is that Gonzalez can change the tide of a fight with 1 shot, and Montiel can't. And so he really runs a risk every time he moves his hands, Montiel, in combination on the inside against Gonzalez.
Okay. Crowd wants to see more action here at the Home Depot Center.
Más golpe, güey. Más golpe, Fernando. Más golpe.
Está para atrás, güey.
Entre usted, cabrón. Entre moviéndose, No entre, no lo deje que haga su pelea, Que haga su pelea.
Toma, lávame la llanta.
And what would boxing after dark be, guys, without continued tradition here? You definitely need to know what round it is.
That's why the number's not in the frame.
What round is it?
It's the 8th, if anyone's interested.
Crowd getting restless here in Carson, California.
I think they're booing the round card girl exiting the ring.
They want to see more action. Gonzalez averaging 50 punches around. Montiel 36 punches around.
It should be said, too. Not a scintillating fight, but not a boo-worthy fight. It's pretty good stuff.
I honestly think the first fight put an image in people's minds. The Williams-Matthysse fight. Montiel only averaged just over 30 punches in his loss to Mark Too Sharp Johnson in 2003. Oh, Gonzalez with an overhand right. Another strong 1-2, snaps back the head of Montiel.
Montiel's doing a little too much waiting around right now. He should be trying to get in there, slip a shot. I noticed that when he throws a straight right hand, he needs to throw all the punches after that. He just can't stop with one punch.
Gonzalez starting to let his hands go. 3 hooks and he came back with a right.
But see, it seems to me, Lennox, that whenever Gonzalez simply moves his hands more, he finds a lot more success. Are you saying that he's moving his hands more because Montiel, by remaining less active than he should be, is allowing him to?
Gonzalez is definitely being consistent in his punches and his flow of punches. He's doing the right thing. I mean, he's just imposing his will on him. He's getting Montiel actually worried about what he's throwing instead of throwing punches back.
Feet get tangled up there. Gonzalez starting to do damage now. Welts forming under both eyes of Montiel.
I don't see where Montiel's punch output is affecting Gonzalez's. I think Gonzalez, when he decides to move his hands, is finding success, and when he stands around, is being outboxed. This round, he's moving his hands, so he's winning it.
There's some work to the body, a left hook by Montiel. But Lennox, you called it, 1 punch at a time. Nice strong overhand right by Montiel. Steps back and connects with a left hook. And it seems to wake up Gonzalez.
That's what I've been saying. If he throws more than 2 punches, it just makes for a better fight.
Let's go. Okay. Saturday, June 3rd, tune in to Countdown to Taylor Wright. A half-hour special on the upcoming matchup between the world's 2 best middleweights, 160-pound title holder Jermaine Taylor and his opponent Winky Wright. Then on June 17th, Taylor and Wright step into the ring live on HBO's World Championship Boxing with Taylor's middleweight title at stake.
That's how we're gonna win this fucking fight. Yeah. He's not gonna do nothing to you.
Ya no hay nada, ve, está abriendo mucho la boca, tú traes condición.
Come on,
Estás al
Jhonny,
100%.
don't open your mouth. You got condition at 100%.
Dame la toalla, rápido.
There we had the full translation.
That's why Ray Torres gets paid the big bucks. Jhonny Gonzalez, he threw 69 punches. He landed 21 in the 8th. Those were highs in the fight for Gonzalez.
So far, I think the onus of this fight to make it a good one falls on Gonzalez. Montiel has done exactly what he said he would do. He's fighting more aggressively in a boxing kind of style than he has in the past. He didn't give away early rounds. But Gonzalez is the guy who's really in charge of the pace of the fight. And when he opens up, it turns into a good action fight, and he has the advantage. It's really on him.
And Gonzalez is not getting hit any shots. He keeps his hands nice and high, and it makes it difficult to for him to get hit.
Nice taking over the shot with power shots.
You get the sense that Gonzalez is starting to try to close the distance, try to open up a little bit more. Nice left hook from Montiel.
Long punishing jab from Gonzalez also sets up those straight right hands, which have been landing with increasing frequency.
Lennox is a fighter. Do you hear the boos?
You know, sometimes you hear them, sometimes you don't. Most of the time, if they're booing, I always think they're booing my opponent.
There's no reason to boo right now. And real boxing fans wouldn't be booing this stuff. Gonzalez is starting to pick up the pace. Montiel is not backing off. They're not holding, they're not running. They're throwing punches and exchanging.
Nice counter left by Gonzalez. He stood his ground. Fernando Montiel has a reputation of being a slick boxer, and he is doing what essentially he does. Jhonny Gonzalez, the taller, stronger fighter, is trying to impose his will, having moderate success as he picks up the action in the late rounds.
Both fighters always trying to rally at the end.
Sugar Ray Leonard used to try to steal rounds in the last 30 seconds.
What the timekeeper has to do is hit that stick 10 seconds into the round, and then we have the fight of the year.
El ritmo no te lo aguanta. Hoy lo que te digo, ¿sale? No te aguanta el ritmo.
Do what I
Si tú lo
tell you.
presionas
The
así, se
rhythm.
acaba la pelea
You
y se
keep
rompe
it up
bien.
on it. You make the pressure.
Otro poquito.
Drink more
Lava la
water.
llanta, pero rápido, rápido, lávame la llanta y dame la vaselina.
Come on, give me the Vaseline and wash the mouthpiece.
Quítale los guantes, la vaselina, rápido, te dije que ayer.
Oh, good action after the round. You know, when two boxers are caught up like that, sometimes you don't hear the bell.
Lennox, do you think that his fatigue, Montiel showed fatigue by getting his mouthpiece knocked out, his mouth hanging open perhaps?
Yeah, hopefully this will cause him to really rally the next couple rounds.
We're looking for the bell, okay?
What this fight has that the first fight lacked, Paul Williams and Walter Matthysse, which had more action, sustained action throughout. There were no real shifts in momentum that were sustained in that fight. It was all Paul Williams, except for moments by Matthysse. This fight, you have shifts in momentum throughout the fight, and I think as a result, is actually a more interesting fight, though there might be less action.
Montiel coming through with an overhand right. Oh, but Gonzalez, good work upstairs. All right, Max, so we've seen 9 rounds of Montiel and Gonzalez. How do you think either one would fare against Marquez?
Gonzalez physically matches up with Marquez better. I'd make Marquez the favorite against either. I think that Montiel has a style contrast with Marquez that maybe makes the matchup interesting for other reasons. Let's put it that way. More of the boxer versus the puncher. This fight is far from being determined. It's very close right now. Should be on the judges' cards. It is on mine.
And of course, Rafael Marquez, recognized best at 118 pounds.
Though if Montiel were to be hit by that many clean punches by Marquez, the fight might already be over. Marquez is a devastating puncher.
Gonzalez now bleeding out of his nose.
Stop. Okay. Time. Go to the neutral corner. Go to the neutral corner. Frank, get somebody with a towel up here, please.
Jhonny wants to make sure that the center of the ring is nice and dry. Could have some problems with the lettering as well.
Yeah. Sometimes when you have the lettering on a canvas, it could be slippery, especially when water hits it.
Right.
And so, you know, some of these boots, you know, really it seems like an icy rink in there.
Those ads have probably ruined more great exchanges in the middle of the ring in recent years than anything imaginable.
You know, the best stuff to make that out of is the stuff that they put on skateboards, that non-slip stuff, especially when it gets wet. That's what they need to use. Anytime Gonzalez wages any kind of offense, Montiel has that quick jab to stop him.
Well, there you see Montiel. His mouth is clearly open right now.
For the bell.
We may have a fight after all between Montiel and Gonzalez.
Ahora que quieras, lo cortaste muy bonito. Ve el párpado, lo tiene cortado ya.
That was
ya nomás
good.
presiónalo, usa tu derecha,
You got to
ciérrale los
pressure
ojos.
and throw the right hand.
Pero usa la inteligencia.
But use
¿sale?
your intelligence.
Toma. Ahorita le secas allá abajo. Dedícate a respirar.
Dedicate to take deep breaths. Relax.
Dame la toalla, la toalla.
Métale, cabrón. Métale todo para adentro.
Give it all you got. Go in. You only got 2 rounds. Let's go.
Dame la toalla, dame la toalla.
Give it all. Hit him wherever you can, but hit him.
Párate, demuéstrale que estás más fuerte que él.
Stand up.
Fran Charles alongside the former university recognized heavyweight champ of the world, Lennox Lewis, and HBO boxing commentator Max Kellerman. Boxing After Dark from Carson, California, outside at the Home Depot Center, under the lights. Round 11 between Fernando Montiel and Jhonny Gonzalez.
Cuidado con tu beso. Tu dos.
Jhonny Gonzalez is throwing some real snappy punches right now. Well, he's definitely looking to end the fight.
You get the impression that both fighters knows that neither fighter hasn't won.
Though it has been a tale of 2 fights. Montiel early and Gonzalez late.
Gonzalez low there, surely reminding him to keep him up.
Montiel made an interesting adjustment at the end of the last round, Lennox. He's tired, his quickness has dissipated a bit. Gonzalez is coming on. He started timing Gonzalez and landed some good counter punches towards the end of the last round.
Yeah, he did good. He got caught with a good right hand against the ropes as well.
Good.
Montiel turning to be the aggressor. I think he feels that he needs to do some work now. He needs to really turn the tides.
Montiel is a very good fighter. Special fighters are able to go to plan B or C if plan A or B isn't working. And Montiel is trying that a little bit here.
Trying to rise to the occasion. Acknowledge that it was a fight he didn't have to take, but he needed to take so that the boxing public would realize what type of fighter he is.
It seemed to me that Montiel just got hit with a clean punch and reacted as though it was a headbutt.
Yep. Gonzalez and Montiel digging in here, and the 11th.
Sugar Ray Leonard in these kind of situations, and the Tommy Hearns fight, the first one comes to mind, would dig in and rally.
Right.
And Montiel is trying it here.
He is trying to rally.
And Sugar Ray in that fight, he admitted he was dead tired. Dead tired.
Ray Leonard, one of Montiel's heroes.
Oh.
Dedícate a respirar nada más.
Dedicate yourself to take deep breaths so you can relax.
Él está bien tronado.
He's really tired.
Entonces estás tú al 100%.
You got 100% conditioning. This is the last round, Jhonny.
Haz de cuenta que vas a empezar el round, ¿eh?
You'll be first. As soon as the bell rings, you go first. You gotta win this round. Double hook in the right hand. Stand up.
¿Sale? Es el bueno, ¿sale? Échale
Okay,
ganas.
that's it. Now give it all you got. Yeah.
Es el bueno, es el último. Vamos.
I got a feeling that this last round there's going to be some serious fireworks.
Very well could determine the outcome of the fight.
The 12th and final round between Fernando Montiel and Jhonny Gonzalez. Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, Julio Cesar Chavez, legends in Mexico. These two guys would love to add some pedigree to their resumes and to be seen as those type of fighters down the road. It starts tonight.
You know, coming in, these guys were considered evenly matched. The odds were even. People picking in boxing were even, split down the middle just about. Montiel has here tried to overcome the kind of stalemate. And even if Gonzalez wins this fight, he might be winning. It seems that he's done less to try to overcome the stalemate than Montiel has, and that might affect the decision.
Well, that reason is because Montiel has a size difference. He also got knocked down against Too Short Johnson, so he's coming in with minuses.
So he has to do more to overcome it, you're saying?
Yes.
Montiel doing a nice job, stepping back, coming through with a counter left hook. And you can feel the sense of urgency on both sides. A minute left to make their mark. Jhonny Gonzalez says he wants Rafael Marquez. Fernando Montiel says he wants Martin Castillo at 115 pounds. They've got each other tonight. And both knows this could be a platform for bigger dollars and bigger fights down the road. Who took care of business? The slick boxer Montiel or the stronger boxer puncher Jhonny Gonzalez? The judges will have to decide. Both fighters believe they've got the fight won.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know what to think. That last round was extremely close. I turned to Lennox, who do you like? You give it to Gonzalez, at least on my card, you get a draw. Even though it seems as though Gonzalez was doing more damage throughout the second half of the fight, and that's what you're left with, that he was the guy really beating up the other guy. When you break it down round by round, this fight could go either way.
All right, Max, so you told us about the 12th round. Give us your final scorecard here.
114, excuse me, did I say, yeah, 114, 114.
6 rounds apiece.
And by the way, the last 2 rounds, Montiel, I thought maybe had the 12th round stolen, and then started celebrating a little prematurely, and it allowed Gonzalez to take some of the late play away. And on my card, that was the difference between a guy kind of stealing a very close fight in which he may have accepted more punishment than his opponent. But, you know, when you break it down round by round, maybe getting the points decision and a draw. All
right, so there you saw Max's scorecard. Here, let's take a look at the judges who will be scoring the fight. Marty Denkin. And he had Glenn Johnson beating Antonio Tarver, 116 to 112, in his notable fight from California. Chuck Hassett, also from California.
Eddie Ruby, Maximiliano.
And Nelson Vasquez from Puerto Rico. And this one was pretty easy. Calzaghe whooping up on Jeff Lacey. 119, 105. And let's send it in now to Michael Buffer for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Marty Denkin scores the bout 115-113 for Montiel. Nelson Vasquez scores the contest 116-112 Gonzalez. Chuck Hassett scores it 118-111 to the winner by split decision, and still WBO bantamweight champion of the world, Jhonny Gonzalez.